Hey, it's Chris Akin from Chris Akin Presents, The Classic Metal Show, and The Seth Williams Show. Now, we know it's frustrating to have to use this website for videos, that website for podcasts, and still another for the live shows. Well, let's end that shit right now. Get the Locals app and get it all in one place. This is free, folks. You don't have to pay to get most of the great content that we're doing. Like I said, it is free. On your phone or device, just go to locals.com in your iOS or Google Play Store, install it, and create an account. Open the app, surf to the search from the bottom, and type in Classic Metal Show. Then click Join. That's it. Once you join, you can click on the triangle button at the bottom, and you can select from videos, live streams, both past and active, or podcasts. Watch and listen right there. When a stream is live, you can participate in the chat right from that screen if you choose. If you want our exclusive content, just click support when you visit the Classic Metal Show community. It's simple, and it's the best way to stay engaged with all of my shows, so sign up today. Hail and kill.
Hi, it's David from the Dead Daisies, and you're watching CMS TV.
From the Up From the Ashes release, that's Forever, Don Dokken. That one going out by special request to Shelly Rocks in the chat room. She's facing a bit of a challenge this week, and she wanted to hear something to calm her nerves before she goes in for some medical procedure. So all the best to Shelly. And she wanted to hear something from Don Dokken's Up From the Ashes. Always glad to oblige. And just before that, we heard Black Sabbath, Neon Nights. And that one goes out by request to Hezekiah in Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
What's his name?
His name is Hezekiah.
Hezekiah? I didn't think the Amish had the internet.
Well, he might be a rebel. He might be on Rumspringer.
Oh, maybe.
He might be breaking the rules. He's an outlaw Amishman.
He put away his big hat and shaved his beard and went out for a night, right?
Right. And then we got a request early on a Tuesday for Wasp with Charisma. And that one goes out by request, I don't know, DS Jarek, I guess.
Oh, DS Jarek.
Yeah, so he's checking in early. So people getting in their request early. So there you go. That wraps up a block of requests.
That was a pretty good block, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad. So good stuff. Everybody picking their faves.
That's good. That's good. It's a good way to start the show. Makes it fun. Makes it fun when the music is good. I know when it's not, I'm always like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know.
Jesus Christ, son of a bitch. What the hell are these faggots picking?
And sometimes I think that when some of the requests, no offense, Sal, but Sal picks, it's like, do you really want to hear that Hurricane song again?
Or Walks Like a Woman?
Yeah, come on. Just enough of that nonsense.
He loves that song.
I know. Well, that makes sense for him, but
yeah. Well, speaking of listening to tunes, not that this has anything to do with the show, but as you know, as you're well aware, one of my favorite bands growing up as a kid is the band Chicago.
What?
Yeah,
I never heard that before.
Not. Well, they've been releasing remastered live shows from the very early days.
Okay.
And a couple years ago, they released all 8 shows that they performed at Carnegie Hall. It was originally released as a 4-album box set, which was they kind of picked and choose songs from their entire week residency at the Carnegie Hall. But a couple years ago, they released the entire all 8 shows.
Okay,
in their
nice.
entirety. Well, about a week ago or so, they just released another live show. This was recorded at the John F. Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. back on September 16th of 1971.
Wow.
And I've been digging on that I've been listening to that in the car for the last week or so. And, just the technology that they have today to bring those songs to life, because, you got to remember they recorded this on tape,
Sure.
over 50 years ago, and for that tape to survive all these years, and to be able to remaster it and really make it pop. Wow, this recording is fantastic.
You got to wonder where they kept this stuff.
I don't know. But right at the beginning of the show, they're saying, well, we're recording this show tonight just for shits and giggles, that
Right.
maybe we'll play it sometime later. But, they're kind of like tuning up and kind of, and they didn't edit out the show at all. They left all the little talking going on. And
Right.
if there were some pause breaks in between the songs while they were waiting to get the okay from the recording truck, he goes,
Okay.
well, we're gonna wait till we get the okay from the guys in the recording truck to go ahead, and
Nice.
then they get the signal, and then they break into the next song. And the cool thing is they were working out new songs that came up on, I believe it's Chicago 5.
Okay.
So they were debuting new songs, and they played the song Saturday in the Park for the very first time.
Oh, wow.
And they also, what was the other song that they played? I believe it was Dialogue. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I don't know that one.
But Peter Cetera on the recording sings, Terry Kath and Peter Cetera sing the song, but because they were working it out for the first time, Robert Lamb was singing the part that Peter Cetera ended up singing on the record.
Right.
So they were kind of working out what the good combination was there. So it's cool to hear it, especially that old.
Sure.
And being I'm a Chicago aficionado, listening to that and listening to the little interaction between the band members on the stage, because you can hear them talking to each other and, getting geared up to play maybe a new song, or you hear the mistakes, they sing the wrong lyrics or make a mistake, and it's like, oh, that's cool to leave that in there.
Right.
So
and for you as a fan, like, I guarantee you, if I listened to it and you hadn't just told me all that,
right,
I would not even notice the singer difference.
Right.
But you immediately are like, whoa, wait a minute. That's not the voice I'm used to hearing.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was kind of interesting, because they basically said, yeah, we're working out some new songs here,
Right.
So here's something new that we're playing for the very first time tonight, and just, getting into some very familiar songs that became hits for them, but they were brand new and hadn't even been recorded yet. They hadn't even recorded the album yet.
Right.
But they were working on the new material, which was very cool. So I enjoyed it quite a bit.
That's very cool.
So if you're a fan, it's out there, Chicago at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, Washington, D.C., September 16th, 1971. It's out there on Spotify.
Right.
Good stuff.
Very good, man.
All right. So what do you have for us? Anything in particular?
Yeah, everybody wants to talk about Jakey Lee.
Yeah.
So we're going to make them wait.
Is that right?
Yes, we can do that in the paid segment.
Yeah, we'll do that in where you have to pay to hear our great pontificate about that tragic event.
Yes, well, and make some speculation and all that other stuff. But
yeah, it's pretty bizarre. But yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we'll talk about that in the in the sponsored
segment.
The sponsored segment of the show.
Look at us becoming money grubbers.
Yeah, look at us. That $5.
Oh, that's what you want to talk about? Then you're gonna have to pay for it.
Right. If you're gonna get the greatness from Chris Akin and myself, you're gonna have to pay.
That's right. But now that you freeloaders all around are listening, you get the shitty topics.
Right, exactly.
Like this one as an example.
Okay.
I know from almost the minute this guy quit Skid Row, I have been all about saying that Gronwall kind of fucked these guys over.
Well, yeah, I know. We kind of said that because it was it made no sense. There was no rhyme or reason for his leaving the band.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, if it didn't make sense before, it's about to make less sense to you now. Now, I'm almost certain you don't know this story.
You're probably right. I haven't kept up with the latest and the greatest in music news.
Erik Gronwall this week released a demo that he worked up that was intended for the next Skid Row record.
Okay.
But he put that out there. He didn't just say, here's a song. He said, here's a song I was going to do for Skid Row, but now I'm doing it here instead.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm keeping it for myself, man.
Tell me this doesn't scream of there was a real reason, and it wasn't that I'm sick.
Yeah, of course. We speculated that was the case because he's doing shows with Michael Schenker,
Michael
right?
Schenker as well. But now he's again, this is all speculation. I don't know. I mean, maybe the truth is that he was sick. And if it is, then it is. So be it. But I ain't buying it.
Yeah, but the thing is that he could be sick, and we pointed out the fact that the Gangs All Here record was really a return to traditional sounding Skid Row.
It was,
and he did a great job with it. And we were just like, well, okay, so you can't tour, but does that mean you can't record with them?
Yeah.
If they were to choose to make new music, more new music anyway.
Yeah. And he's out there playing shows for other people.
That's what I'm saying.
So couldn't he have said, hey, Skid Row guys, can you play less shows? I mean, it didn't have to come. The bottom line is it came off so abruptly that clearly there's something more to it and nobody wants to say. I think that both sides sort of agreed somewhere to take somewhat of a high road and just say that it was the illness and that he needed his help. And again, the illness may very well be part of it. I don't want to come off like I'm saying that I know something, because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
It just seemed suspicious at the time.
And it seems more suspicious now when we get a video that says, we wrote this song for Skid Row. This is on his channel.
Okay.
So he's putting out songs that were for Skid Row and making sure that you remember that he was the Skid Row singer up until a year ago. How about saying, here's one that didn't make the Michael Schenker band? How about that? How about just putting it out and saying, hey, here's something I'm working on.
Here's something new I put together.
Yeah. Nobody knew any better, but he's tagging it to Skid Row because he's riding the last bit of coattail.
Right.
From the band that put him on the map. I found this to be really, really shitty. And I don't know the Skid Row guys from anything. Clearly 7 singers, there's something there that's a problem as well. I mean, we've interviewed Snake. He's always been nice. We've interviewed Rachel. He's always been nice. So it's not a thing of like, man, we got to fucking hammer these assholes. It's not a thing like that. But this Gronwall, this annoys me because foolishly, I guess, I actually believed in something maybe making a decent comeback. This is like the one time that a band made the big change, and I finally was like, there's no chance. And then they made it work.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we seen this?
Yeah, he Gronwall did add the traditional sound back to the Skid Row thing. I mean, he was as close to a young Sebastian Bach sounding singer that they had since Sebastian Bach left the band.
Yeah. And when you hear this, clearly he had more to give them, because this sounds like a Skid Row tune to me.
Okay.
So check it out. This is Erik Gronwall with a song that he wrote for Skid Row. Wait a minute. I want you to read. He's just capitalized on. These are the new songs that I was writing while I was still in the band.
Okay.
But they didn't make it, so boom. I'm going on to something else. Now, he says, I don't think this particular song would have made it onto the album, but since that album definitely won't happen, I thought it might be fun to share this demo with you all instead.
Okay.
Keep that in mind, and you tell me if this song could potentially have made it to a Skid Row record.
All right.
All right? All right, here we go. So, of course, we have Skid Row guys and the Skid Row set
Right.
on a song that has nothing to do with
So
Skid
he not only that, he made a music video including the Skid Row guys.
Yes. I mean, those are the Skid Row guys, aren't they?
I believe it is. That snake there on
That
the
snake right
left.
here, and
Mhm.
I'm not sure who this guy is, but it looks like some of the Skid Row guys.
Mhm.
I know these flags were part of the Skid Row set, so we're using Skid Row graphics now too and video. I see, but I'm too sick to be in Skid Row. All right, here we go.
Now I can hear the city screaming, 1,000 voices calling out. I know that seeing is believing, but I can't believe I'm here tonight. We're loud, we're proud, we're flash and we're bold.
And more Skid Row video.
I mean, he might as well just have released it as an unreleased Skid Row song.
Might as well. I mean, come on. He's certainly, I'm surprised they didn't shut this down.
No, I again, who knows what their relationship is? You know what I mean? Because they're, you pointed out earlier that, if there's any animosity or any bad blood there, they certainly aren't displaying it in any way, shape, or form. And if he's putting this out and they're not making a beef about it,
Yeah, I mean,
their relationship could be amicable, but who knows?
it could be, or it could be that they're in the middle of a search right now for a new singer, and the last thing they need is a tit for tat on social media with the old singer.
Mm-hmm.
They got enough of that with the really old singer. Do they really want to get into it with this guy too? Or do they just want to move the fuck on? That, I don't know, man. But this song sounds like it could have been a Skid Row song.
It does. Absolutely.
All right, here's some more.
Never say die, keep moving on. Can't hold us down, this is where we belong. Hear the sound, round and round from the underground. You can't get what's there. Raise them high, side by side, we will never die. You can't kill what's dead.
Is that him and Snake?
It's just a Skid Row behind the scenes video.
Yeah. Is that him and Snake walking together down
I think it was,
the
yeah.
road there?
Yeah,
He's the founding member of Skid Row.
that's right. There's truth to that.
That is true. I mean, it's a good song.
It is a good song. I don't hate the song.
Strong song.
I don't hate the song. I hate the excuse. I hate that I'm too sick to do this, but I can go do it with Shanker. That I don't like. And plus, I don't like the fact that he pushed Ronnie Romero out of Shanker, because I like Ronnie Romero too. So, all right, here's a little more of this, and then we'll move on. Here we go.
I went through blood and tears to find it. I played the odds, I'm still alive.
See, I mean, again,
It's basically a Skid Row music video.
that's what I'm saying. It's all that tour. It's nothing. There's nothing separating there's nothing drawing the line between him and the band.
Right.
Other than he said at the beginning that the band doesn't play on this. Well, they don't need to play on it because they appear all through it. Holy shit, they could probably each get an IMDb credit for this video. Holy cow. I mean, am I crazy on this? That something is definitely fishy here?
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I agree with the wretch here too. His voice won't suit Shanker. I don't hear that voice doing lights out very well.
Yeah.
Do you?
Well, but he's kind of a chameleon, though. I mean, he can sing the lower register stuff, and he could, he's, he can fit himself into, he may not sound like Robin McCauley or anything, but I'm sure he could do a good enough job to where he can adjust his delivery to suit the songs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's not going to go balls out for Shanker like he's doing in this music video.
Probably not. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing, and that's all I really wanted to say about this, is just the whole thing is fishy, to say the least. To me, it's just fishy, man. It's like we're just supposed to, it's that old adage, we're supposed to just believe what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe this one. I really don't believe, and I got nothing against Erik Gronwall. I don't know him. I've never met him. I've never interviewed him. I don't think. I mean, I know I've never interviewed him. I don't think I've ever met him.
No.
Have you met him?
No.
Or did we meet him once? I think me and you both met him.
Oh,
once.
in Heat?
When he was in Heat or one of the bands, or Eclipse or whatever band he was in.
Yeah.
I think we met him at the Melodic, but we didn't meet him. It was a handshake.
Yeah.
Bottom line is we don't know him. I'm starting to sound like that fucking tart Adam the Bull.
Yeah, you're starting, I know everyone in that band trunk.
Yeah, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that, and I don't want to be Adam the Bull correcting myself every fucking, well, we met him. Well, we didn't really meet him. I don't want to be that guy either. Bottom line is we don't know this fucking guy. And so we don't have any animosity toward him. I'm not looking to hammer him because I like his music. I really liked The Gang's All Here. I thought it was a great record.
Yeah, it's very, very traditional sounding, took him back to 1989.
Yeah. But I'm just not buying this whole story of, well, I was too sick, so I had to go home.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I've been home 6 months, now I'm all better and I'm ready to go back out on the road. And here's a Skid Row video, almost. It's like, what the fuck? You couldn't have told those guys that you needed 6 months and they wouldn't have given it to you? As successful as that record was for the band? Honestly, do you think if he would have said, I need 6 months because Yeah,
I'm sure that they would.
I think they would have too, just because that record was very well received. I mean, they were as big as they had been since Sebastian left. Don't you think?
I would say that they made a splash again, because the Johnny Solinger years that they existed.
Yeah,
they existed, and same thing with Tony Harnell. I mean, that lasted just a matter of months. That didn't quite didn't do anything for them, and that
ZP
Tharp, whatever his name was.
Nobody
I don't think they played many shows in the U.S. with him, did they?
I never saw one.
I never did either.
They may have played them, but I didn't see them. I'm trying to think, did they have anybody else in there? Is there anybody else? There might have been others in there. I don't even know. They've had a lot of singers, but
yeah.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to share with that. Was I wanted to see if you're smelling the.
Well, we thought it was suspicious when the announcement was made.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then within a matter of weeks, well, I'm working with Michael Schenker now, or I'm doing this, or I'm, playing this, or it's like, well, I thought there was something like wrong with you.
Yeah, well, I guess what might have been wrong is that Skid Row's not a big band anymore.
I guess.
So he didn't like that, I guess. I don't know. So, all right. Well, that's Erik Gronwall. All right, let's go to this. Just because this, you will probably have some thoughts on this one. So, if I'm not mistaken, tonight is the shithole down the road from me's Hall of Fame inductions for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, really? Again, I wasn't aware. I thought they did that in like January. Don't they normally do that like in January or February or something? I thought it was after the first of the year.
The only thing they need to do is push that building into the fucking lake. And maybe by accident when they blow up the old Brown Stadium, they'll accidentally hit that one and it'll just all fall in.
Is that still standing?
What Browns? No, they're going to knock down the current one. They decided to move to Brook Park. Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, they're building a dome in Brook Park that opens in 2029.
So the Browns Stadium that they specifically built for the return of the Browns is now already being wrecked.
It's been 30 years, if you believe that.
Has it been that long? Yeah, well, it has been.
99.
Because they returned while I was in broadcasting school. So
yeah, 30 fucking years.
Wow.
It is actually an older stadium now.
Yeah, I guess by those standards, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, they're going to knock it down and put a dome over there by the airport.
Okay.
No traffic problems there.
No, not at all.
Have to leave 8 hours early to catch a flight on a Sunday.
So the new stadium is going to be right off of 480, huh?
I guess so.
Okay.
I haven't paid attention because I'll never go.
Yeah.
They're already talking that prices for decent seats are going to be
skyrocket
in the thousands, not the hundreds. I'm like, nope, not me.
I know. The city of Chicago is grappling with the Bears and the White Sox wanting to move to some kind of a super park, out of the city of Chicago. They've been grappling with that the White Sox want to, and the Bears want to not share a stadium, but share a
facility
complex,
right?
Out of the city, and that Soldier Field, that obviously is a landmark.
Yeah,
it's like, well, if the Bears leave there, Soldier Field is what does that mean for the city of Chicago to maintain that Soldier Field?
Yeah, I mean, who wants to see the Rockford Bears or whatever?
Yeah, nobody, exactly.
Nobody wants to see that, but I mean, just like the Browns, they're still going to be the Cleveland Browns, even though they're going to be a Brook Park. But and dude, what's ironic about hearing that, and I didn't know that about Chicago, isn't it ironic that all these teams are coming off a shitty play and asking for this money?
Well, and I've thought about that as well. It just seems like whenever a team gets a new stadium and a new home, that somehow it turns their record around.
Well, it'd be nice if that happened here, but as long as they got that fucking rapist as our quarterback, that ain't gonna happen. And dude, something got to happen for the White Sox. Jesus Christ, what they win 30 games?
That was like the worst record in history.
In history, it was like 30 and 130 or something.
Right.
It was crazy.
And you almost have to wonder if that was intentional. Remember the movie Major League? Mm-hmm. That if they did bad enough, they could move their team, they could move the team to Florida, which is and they turned around and turned their game around. And obviously, if you know the movie,
don't be giving it away.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
But you got to wonder, because that's been the discussion with the Bears and the White Sox about moving out of their respective facilities. Sure. And you got to wonder, it's like, well, we did pretty shitty here, so we're going to have to move.
Yeah, and teams are moving again. I mean, the A's are moving to Vegas next year.
Yeah, they imploded the
Coliseum or whatever.
No,
Not the Coliseum.
No, the hotel out there.
Oh, I don't know.
They imploded that this week to make room for the A's stadium.
For the new stadium?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, was it not the MGM, was it?
No. It's one of the last
last old
bastions,
ones.
old hotels left in Vegas.
Yeah, I saw one, and I know we're veering off into sports a little bit, but I saw one of the games for the A's this year, like late in the season, like on a real hot fucking day or something. They had a paid attendance of 17.
Wow. It's the Tropicana Hotel.
Tropicana, there you go.
Yeah, they imploded that this week because they're making room to build the new A's stadium.
Jesus, dude, can you imagine going to a game and only 17 people being at it?
It's like the old Cleveland Indians back in the 70s.
But even then, I mean, I went to a lot of those games. My dad used to take me because it was a cheap ticket. It was like $3 tickets or something to go.
And there were 10 people there.
There's more than that.
I know, but I remember.
I mean, it seemed like 10 people, but it was probably like 2,000 because it was in a 72,000 seat stadium.
Yeah, that was a massive stadium.
Yeah. So when it had 2,000 or 3,000, it looked empty. But I mean, the pictures, I'll see if I can find a picture of the one with the 17. The pictures of the A's with 17 people, it looks like 5 minutes after you open the gate. You know, like the grounds crew is working their way to the field or something. A's game 17 paid attendance. Where's that photo? Where's the photo? Yeah, look at this. Let me open image. Man, this thing is not liking me today. Here we go. Present, share. Getty. Look at this. I mean, that's sad, man. That is sad.
And where was this?
Oakland.
This was Oakland.
Yeah.
Huh.
What is that?
All right.
Oakland County? Alameda? Is that
okay?
Whatever that stadium was called, Alameda County Stadium or whatever. Yeah, that was the Oakland A's stadium. My question is, why would you sit the fuck up here? Just move down. I'd be sitting right behind home plate if I was one of 17.
Yeah, you could. Well, I got to sit in our assigned seats. I don't want to get thrown out for jumping seats.
Dude, there would literally be more ushers than people. That's pretty poor.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just funny, but and of course the real question is, and you go to Vegas a good amount. I don't want to say a lot, but a good amount.
Well, yeah, I obviously went a few weeks ago.
Do you think it'll support baseball?
Well, I don't know what the design. See, that's what I find so bizarre about having professional sports teams in Las Vegas, because there's so many other things to do
right
in Las Vegas. You know, if you have a sports team in just a normal city that you don't have entertainment, you can understand why people go to a game. But you got all those casinos, all those shows, all those attractions, and you're putting professional sports teams there. That, to me, that seems really odd that you're competing for an audience.
It does, but I'll say this, and tell me if I'm crazy thinking this. The casinos especially are going to buy up half of the tickets to this stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
And they're going to say, if you book 4 days with us and you stay in our hotel and you're in our casino
seats.
Yeah, we're going to comp you to go see the 49ers and the Raiders or whatever.
Right.
You know, we'll give you those tickets and we'll give you $1,000 worth of chips as long as you're staying in the penthouse suite here at the Tropicana or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they'll do something like that. And I get that working for football, because football itself, I could see people traveling for. There's not a lot of games. You know, there's only going to be 8 games in LA or in Vegas rather.
Right.
So I could see that working. But for the A's, that's 81 games.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what their new stadium design is, but it definitely has to be a domed stadium.
Oh, it's so hot.
Because, I mean, you know, I was there 3 weeks ago, and every day was 104 degrees in September.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, who the fuck's going to go out there on an August day to watch the A's play the Blue Jays or whatever?
yeah.
I mean, come on.
These baseball players would keel over a heat stroke if they were out, if it was an open air stadium,
Yeah, dude, it'll cost them $5,000 a day just to air condition that, if not more.
5,000.
How much you think for per day?
20,000.
20,000 a day?
I would think. I mean, can you imagine what it would take to air condition a massive stadium like that?
I have no idea.
Especially out in the desert when it's 100.
When it's 110 degrees, that's true too.
That's a lot of air conditioning.
Oof. Boy, and how'd you like to be in there the day that it breaks down? Fuck that.
Yeah.
Because then you're in, it's baking outside, and then there's no ventilation. Do you think they'll have to put one of those retractables or no?
I don't know. That's the whole thing. It's just like what kind of a baseball stadium are they going to design for the heat of the desert?
I just can't see people like in Vegas. Like I can see football because there's not a lot of games. When there's 82 games, that's a lot. And again, I know we're talking about, we just said that the football would get bought up by the casinos and comped. I don't see baseball having that kind of appeal. I don't see people going and saying, well, I'll spend an extra $100 because I get tickets to Wednesday's A's Brewers matchup. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, it's interesting. Certainly interesting, but yeah, I don't know. It just, sports teams in Las Vegas, it just seems odd to me, especially since, if you're a betting person, you go to the sports book and you can watch the game in an air conditioned casino on massive screens, just like you're right on the field.
Yeah, while you're pulling a slot on a slot machine or something,
or just sitting there, playing your Keno game,
right? Dude, speaking of that, real quick, and I know we're all over the map tonight.
Yeah, but hey, it's fun.
Whatever. I watched a little bit of the Mets-Dodgers game yesterday, day before, whatever day it was. But I didn't watch it on now with baseball, and I'd imagine probably with football too, but I just don't pay attention to it. They have an alternate broadcast that is only about statistics and betting. So I'm watching this baseball game. I grew up in baseball. I love baseball.
Yeah.
It was for most of my life my favorite sport.
Right. Same thing here.
I'm watching this shit and I don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about all kinds of new stats. They were showing some kind of umpire to pitcher position computer that shows you the differential of a slider versus a changeup speed, and I'm like, what are we talking about here? They're talking about, the war rating is this, and I'm like, what the fuck is the war rating? And I know that's wins against runs or something. I don't remember what it is, but I mean, when we grew up, there was doubles, triples, homers, RBIs, on base percentage,
right,
stolen base. That's about it. And then on the pitching side, you had ERA, wins, losses, strikeouts, walks. Those were the stats we knew. They've got 9 fucking zillion stats now. And not for nothing, but I still can't understand. And I've had betting guys explain it to me. I can't understand the betting for anything.
Well, go ahead.
If you got 2 teams playing, Team A, Team B, I don't care what 2 teams they are. If they don't say, well, this guy's expected to win and the differential's like a point, a run. They say the Giants are playing, the Giants are plus 250 on the Dodgers that are minus 400. Well, how can you have one team playing the other team and not have the same number? Why wouldn't one be plus 250 and the other be minus 250?
Right.
If they're playing each other, what are we betting on? Are we not betting on the winner? Are we betting on something else where there's a different, where this one is supposed to do different than this one is?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, I think, and again, I don't know because I'm not a gambler, but regardless of that, the whole sports thing these days, it's less about the game anymore. Now, the whole thing, everything is about the money, which is the reason why they can build these multi-billion-dollar sports places and stuff. And again, the money that the players, I agree with Dude Bro. That's
me too.
kind of the point I'm trying to make here. It's not fun anymore.
It's not.
It's not fun. It's not a fun pastime anymore. Now it's all about the money. It's all about this superstar players. Just the obscene amount of money that certain players are making.
Dude.
$200 million over 5 years, and
that's tiny. That's a small contract now.
Yeah, I know.
That Ohtani guy signed a $700 million contract. And they're saying that the guy Juan Soto, who plays for the Yankees, that he's going to sign a $700 million contract. $700 million.
But you see, this money is generated through all this sports betting. Because it certainly isn't from commercials.
Yeah, and it's not from attendance because the most filled park is only doing like 2 or 3 million people a year.
So they're generating this all through gambling
and TV rights,
branding, selling all kinds of merchandise with the brand. It's obscene. It's not fun anymore. I agree with Jackal. It's not fun anymore. It's taken the fun out of just the sport in general.
Yeah, you can't just casually watch a game anymore. You have it's like, dude, like football. I'll go back to football for a minute. The NFL. To watch what you've watched your whole life for free in the NFL this year will cost you out the ass because they've got premium games that are only going to be available. Like they've got the regular stuff on Fox and whatever. But if you're a stream guy, you have to have an antenna or you can't get your Fox and your CBS games. So you got ESPN that you have to pay to get, basically. You have to have a cable thing, or in Stream World, you have to have like YouTube TV or Fubo or something like that. Now they're having, I think it's Christmas Day, they're having 2 games exclusively on Netflix. They're having one of the playoff games, I believe, exclusively on Peacock. I think there's another exclusive playoff game on Amazon. So I'm like, in order to do what we've done for our whole lives, we got to pay extra to do it now, to watch the fucking playoffs. What is that? How is that better for the sport?
Well, it's not. It's not better for the sport. Well, it's certainly not better for the sport fan.
No, definitely not. And then let's not even get into the Super Bowl. Fucking $50,000 a ticket or whatever. Fuck are you talking about? It's really. I agree with your nephew here. Why is the betting okay, but what Pete Rose did was wrong?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You want the real answer there, Penske? I'll give it to you. Because Pete Rose never sucked the dick and apologized. That's why. If Pete Rose would have come out day one and said, look, I fucked up. I am so sorry. I can't believe that I ruined the game that I loved. He would have been reinstated like 5 years after he was suspended. But he went the whole time up until maybe like 2 years ago. And was like,
and not only that, but he denied it for decades.
And then when he did admit it, he was like, but I still didn't do anything wrong. and they just refuse to let him in. I don't think they're ever going to let him in.
No,
Which is an embarrassment.
it is, because this guy's record is unmatched.
Yeah, this guy wasn't a good player.
He was
The best. Nobody had more hits than him. No one. Not Ty Cobb.
or at bats.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
dude,
games.
this guy was, when you put numbers next to each other, this guy was better than Ty Cobb. This guy was better than Babe Ruth. This guy was better than Lou Gehrig. I mean, the legendary legends of the game. Believe me, I am thrilled to death. One of my greatest joys in my life is that I got to see Pete Rose play a bunch of times. You know, because anytime the Reds came, when he was on the Reds, my dad took me. And then when he was on the Expos, I saw him twice. So I got to see him several times. I'm glad I did. And I don't give a shit what the fucking Baseball Hall of Fame is and their grudge. I mean, put the guy in there now, for God's sakes. He's fucking dead.
But the whole thing is what's the point in putting him in now? He wanted to be put in before he died. And
well, I agree, but and again, I'm saying more for the integrity of the game.
right.
The game will always lack integrity until he's in the Hall of Fame. Who's number 2? What is number 2 in hits? It's like 30. How many hits did Ty Cobb have? Because he's number 2. Ty Cobb total hits. I think he's number 2. Ty Cobb total hits. He had 4,189 hits. And Pete Rose had 42-56.
Right.
So he had like almost 100 more hits than Ty fucking Cobb. Ty Cobb that was playing with a ball made out of yarn, for God's sakes.
And a bat that he made himself.
Bat that he pulled off a tree before the game. You know, I mean, he was playing with junk. I admit it. He was great for his time.
He whittled it himself.
He probably did. Probably did. I'll bet you these guys the old guys, they probably had 5 bats for the whole season. Where even a Pete Rose probably had 150 bats for a season. You know, these guys had no gear or anything. But, you know, Rose is the best. Rose was the best at it. And they just are going to hold him out of there.
Right.
Fuck out of here. I feel the same way about the steroid guys. How can you hold these guys out of the... You know what? Steroids does not make you fucking swing and hit the ball. It may make the ball go further, but it sure as fuck doesn't improve timing. It doesn't. You know, to hit a home run, you got to have timing and velocity and speed.
Right.
It's all about wrists and hips. And fucking no amount of steroids is going to make your hip rotation and your wrist rotation faster. It might make it more powerful that you get more oomph on the swing, but come on. Put them all in, for God's sakes.
Yep.
I don't know.
Barry Bonds has that asterisk next
which is dumb too.
You know?
Yeah, doesn't he have 3,000 hits too?
Yeah, he's the king of home runs, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he has the most home runs.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds, but how many hits did he have? Did he have 3,000 hits as well?
These guys.
He had 2,935 hits.
Wow.
Just under 3,000. Listen to these numbers for Barry Bonds, who's not in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Well, you know, it's interesting, you know, before you do that Roberto Clemente got his 3,000th hit. He ended at 3,000 before he
last at bat.
died in that plane crash.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, it was his last at bat, right?
It was.
His last at bat was a hit, and then he hit a mountain or something.
He went into the ocean.
Yeah. Listen to these stats for Barry Bonds, who's not in the Hall of Fame. 2,935 hits, 762 home runs, 1,996 RBIs, and 514 stolen bases. How the fuck is he not in the Hall of Fame? Come on, man. He should definitely be in. Plus, 2,558 walks. So he had another almost 3,000 at bats where they just chose not to pitch to him.
Right.
But he's not in the Hall of Fame. And 73 home runs in a single season. The fuck out of here. This guy should be in the Hall of... They should have a statue of him outside the Hall of Fame. But no, we can't have him in there.
Yeah, you fucking cheated. You don't get in, Pally.
But did he cheat? He never was even found guilty of cheating of anything, was he?
No.
Not on the field. Maybe they found him later, like in committee or some shit, but he should be in the Hall of Fame. It's ridiculous that he's not. Just ridiculous. But anyway, I don't know how we got off onto this topic.
No, because we were talking about Las Vegas. And,
right.
And, things like that.
Right.
So,
well, let's quickly do this topic real quick.
All right.
And then we'll finish this because this is where we were. I wanted to share this with you. So again, this weekend, speaking of Hall of Fames, is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction.
Okay.
And one of the bands that's being inducted is Foreigner.
Is it the actual ceremony?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So they must have changed it because I always thought that they did it like late in the winter or early part of the spring or something like that. But okay.
Yeah, I never pay attention because I find that building to be a humongous joke. But I found this story to be interesting.
All right.
So with Foreigner, Mick Jones and Dennis Elliott will not attend Foreigner's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Now, I get Mick Jones. He's got Parkinson's.
So is he just basically just too unhealthy to attend?
They're not really saying that, but it's the same reason he's not playing gigs. He's sick. He's got Parkinson's.
All right.
They don't want him out there fucking Michael J. Foxing around the fucking stage.
All right. I didn't know how bad off he was.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that he's not going for whatever reason.
All right.
But the guy that's of interest to me is Dennis Elliott of the band, who, quite frankly, until I saw this article, I never even heard the guy's name. He's the drummer of Foreigner. Did you know his name?
No, I did not.
Do you know anybody's name of the originals other than Mick Jones and Lou Gramm?
That's it.
That's it. Listen to his statement. He put this on Facebook. Dear Foreigner fans and friends, don't look too hard. We will not be there. We were finally given the schedule last night, and it is not to our satisfaction.
Okay.
So we are staying home.
All right. Well, so is it because of health reasons or that's just a boycott?
Well, this Dennis Elliott guy is boycotting.
Okay.
They don't say nothing about his health. Let's see here. We have been asking for this for weeks, and they have waited until the very last minute to send it, knowing we were all packed and going to bed. What? Totally unacceptable to us.
Okay.
Hope you have a good time.
All right.
This Rock Hall is a fucking joke, dude. They just...
Where are they doing the ceremony?
Here in
Oh,
town.
it's in Cleveland this time.
Yeah.
Is this the year they actually do it in Cleveland? They flip flop it to
Maybe
New York, or were they doing it in LA now too? Like they had several.
Dude, I'm telling you, I really don't pay attention.
Yeah, I know. It's just
it's a joke.
It's a political thing. You know, it's always some goofy ass thing. It's less about the music and more about the,
about the corporate sponsorship.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
But this guy's like, fuck you. If you can't respect me as an honoree,
well,
then go fuck yourself.
No, remember when Steve Miller he really gave them hell for what they did to him, and making him pay for his seats and making him wanting to record his his performance without any kind of a contract or anything. He gave them hell.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but it's going on more and more. If it's somebody that is loved by this fucking organization, they go out of their way to get them there. If it's Dave fucking Grohl, they can't wait to accommodate his dick ass. But somebody that is no longer relevant, like the drummer from Foreigner, fuck you, dude.
Second class citizen.
Yeah, you barely belong. If we didn't have to put you up here, we wouldn't. And that's almost what they're saying by not giving them how can you not give them the itinerary of what's going on? How does that even happen? Is this not booked months ahead?
Well, it could be the same thing like Steve Miller was talking about. You know, it goes, well, you know, we had band members, we had family members, and they wanted us to pay $10,000 a piece for a seat for each one of them.
Yeah, which is crazy talk.
It's like, what do you mean? I'm an inductee and you want me to pay for seats for the band member family and stuff like that?
Yeah, the band member and immediate family should automatically, if they've got 10 people in their family, wife and 9 kids, then that should be paid for by the Rock Hall. It's not costing them. That's the part that pisses me off. It's not costing them anything. What is it really costing the Rock Hall?
Nothing. It's just that it costs them to give up a seat that they could have sold to somebody.
Yeah, to some other sap. This guy puts in his time for 25 years in Foreigner. Not only does he play on all the hits, but he plays on some real dog albums too, like Inside Information or whatnot. You know, and he gets shown the door. Hey, here's the itinerary on Monday for a Thursday gig. Show up, dickwad. It's like, no, fuck you. And I love that he said, no, fuck you. Good for him. That place is just a fucking disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I'm concerned, since it's in my town and they don't hold the induction in my town, they can go fuck themselves. It's dumb. Why would I support that when they don't support it, when they don't support the town that it's in? Why would I ever support that? Stupid shit. Push it into the lake.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Alan Freed, we wouldn't have any rock and roll.
You know what? The way they've turned it into now, I wish Alan Freed was from Pittsburgh. Fuck him too. That's what I say. Fuck them all.
Rock and roll.
No rock and roll. Exactly
no
right.
rock and roll.
Yeah, that's right. I'm now a country fan. Although, from what I hear, you're not allowed to. Have you seen this? I know, all over the map. So there's a thing out there. I don't know what you'd call it. Conspiracy, I guess. That potentially Garth Brooks might be involved somehow with serial killings.
I heard that, and I heard the allegations about some kind of a sexual.
I heard that too. Yeah.
Whatever, and he's being pursued.
Yes.
for his allegations of sexual abuse or whatever.
Well, hopefully he puts himself on hiatus to make things right with his family. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Grohl. Yeah, I the serial killer thing, I was like, are you shitting me with this? But then and again, to be very, very clear on this, I'm not accusing Garth Brooks of being a serial killer.
Is that why we played that Slash a Snake Pit song earlier tonight?
As a Garth Brooks thing? Yeah. No, I was reading it. It's on Reddit, and of course, there's all kinds of deniability on it, but there's something about like every tour he goes on, X number of people die or something.
Okay.
And I'm not going to get into the whole thing because it's real conspiratorial.
So what is the conspiracy master Erik?
I haven't talked to him about it. He's out there on the road this whole weekend with Steven.
Right.
Like they're playing, I think 3 shows in 4 days. So
all right. I
haven't brought it up to Erik, but there's a very good chance that may make a Chris Akin Presents appearance because Erik, if I'm reading about it and it's on Reddit, I guarantee you Erik has read 4,383 stories about it, and he knows the names of the dead and everything else because he pays way more bunch of attention to that stuff. So,
oh God, that's great.
Thank you, Stephen. I was texting with Stephen all week this week, actually.
Right? Were you?
Yeah, because supposed to do an interview with him for Metal Shop, and we just couldn't get that together. So we're gonna get it together next week. But
all right.
But I was back and forth with Stephen. It had to be 10 different times. Hey, can you do tomorrow at 4? Yes. Tomorrow at 4. Oh, can't do it today, man.
Yeah.
How about tomorrow at 4? Okay, cool. How about that?
Well,
I can't do it
every
today.
time I see Steven, which is 2-3 times a year,
Yeah.
Steven, can we get you on the show and talk about this 40th anniversary thing? And anytime you want, bro, anytime you want. Well, how about next week? Oh, I can't do it next week.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a busy guy.
I get it. I get it, but I always throw the invite. Dude, I love
Sure.
I love your show. I love to come on the show.
Yeah.
You guys talk for real. You guys are the real deal. It's like,
Mhm.
well, how about when are you home next? Well, next week. Well, how about that? Well, I can't do that.
Yeah. Well, dude, Erik is on my other show, and we've had Steven on once for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Steven,
He's hard to nail down.
Yes, he's tough to nail down. He's elusive.
Yeah, and good for him. He doesn't need to do shitty interviews anyway.
I agree.
So.
But he's out there, obviously promoting this current thing he's doing, this 40th anniversary of Out of the Cellar, and you'd think you want to talk about it a little bit, but whatever.
Yeah,
he's always welcome. We love.
Yeah, of
Steven.
course, welcome on any of the shows. But certainly this one. I mean, he's a long time. He's family. He's not even just a friend.
Well, there was that. Remember that time? This was 12 years ago when he was sort of had some downtime. He was just texting us, "Hey, think I could come on this week?" It's like, yeah, he was coming on the show like once every 3 or 4 weeks. He would come on the show.
Yeah, he was into it.
Yeah, he just would come on the show and he'd hit me up with an email. "Hey, man, can you think I could come on tonight?" It's like, of course, you can come on anytime you want, man. Steven's a character.
Yeah, he is. I think the difference now is instead of being at home watching us or listening to us, he's got Christy there that, I'll be honest, I'd rather look at her than us. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a nice gal.
She seems like a sweetheart. I don't really know her.
She is. She's a real friendly gal.
That's cool. Well,
So,
good for Steven. He deserves that.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. I like Steven a ton, man. He's just a good dude.
Yep.
Always been nice to me.
He's always been great to me.
Even in his bad years, even when we've said bad stuff about him, he's just like, dude. Like the São Paulo thing.
Yeah.
I remember that. And we hammered him hard, and he was like, "Yeah, I guess I kind of was fucked up."
Well, I kind of went off the rails there a little bit.
Guess there were some rat traps clicking off that night, I guess.
Got some rat traps clicking off. He's a character.
He is.
Oh, God. All right.
Great.
Well, is that all we have for this segment?
Yeah, that's enough for this segment.
All right. Well, for those of you who want to hear about Jakey Lee, I guess you're going to have to subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the locals.
We'll make it worth the locals people's while this week. We'll do Jakey Lee, and we'll talk about Alex Van Halen slamming everybody.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about those two in the next segment.
All right. Two hot topics, man.
Pew, pew, hot
topics. All right. Well, I got a request here for some Tesla.
All right.
We haven't played a lot of Tesla lately.
Well, they have a new EP coming out.
Do they?
Yeah. I think next month.
Okay. But anyway, I got a request for Tesla from Hardy Boy.
Okay.
He wants to hear Cotton Fields.
Good one from Last Action Hero.
Yeah. So here it is. It's Tesla exclusively here
on your classic metal show.
Looking to sell your car quickly and for top dollar? At buyyourcars.net, we make it easy. Whether your vehicle is new, used, or even damaged, we'll buy it in any condition. Fast offers, quick cash and hassle-free transactions. What more could you ask for? Just visit buyyourcars.net, enter your vehicle information, and get a fast offer within minutes. Ready to sell? Call us today at 770-815-0342 or fill out the contact form at buyyourcars.net. Get cash fast for your car the easy way. Buyyourcars.net. Selling your car has never been easier.